Alrighty, with this video I want to go over the different ways you can use a source in your essay. If you remember from the assignment sheet for this MLA medical essay, you have to have a short quote, a long quote, a summary, and a paraphrase. And it'd be nice if I kind of showed you how to do that, right? One thing I don't know if I've said, everything I'm saying in these videos is available right here on this MLA lecture, fall 2017. It's just a written out version of all the stuff I'm saying. Some people would rather watch a video and kind of see it in action. Some people are quite happy just to read it on a little handout. Actually, it's not a little handout, it's a long handout. So if you think you're missing something in the videos, that handout's there to go over it one more time for you. But I'm going to show you using the sample essay. Again, it's basically pretty much on the assignment you're doing. She didn't have to use images, and her essay had to be a little longer than yours does, but still a pretty good essay. And also you'll notice on this help resources page and the content page how to put an image into your MLA papers there, the library handouts there. So lots of good help for you there. But I didn't mean to click on it. I already got it up. Anyway, so I'm going to go to that sample research essay. It's worth reading through it fairly carefully. There's some things I really like about it. Some things I'm like, yeah, get away from that 3-point thesis kind of thing. But she does a good job of putting the research into her grandmother's story. And you're going to notice she uses short quotes, long quotes, summary, and paraphrases quite well, which is another reason I like this essay. For a short quote in MLA is 3 or fewer lines. Right here you're looking at a short quote. It's going to be encased in quote marks. It should be word for word unless you use brackets to show a change or ellipses to show omission. But a short quote should be word for word. They need to be introduced and they need to be cited. So here researchers Michael Castle, Dolores Thompson, and Matthew Nathan's report. Then she gives the quote in quote marks. This came out of a book, so there's going to be a page number there. So I have the first word on the works cited page with Castle, and I have the page number it came off of. It's properly formatted. It's integrated into the essay. Again, you want to introduce the quote, don't just make it its own sentence. But that's what a short quote looks like. Many of you are probably already familiar with that. Long quote, a little bit different. A long quote is 4 more lines. It's going to be offset or tabbed twice. Again, you want to introduce the quote and you want to cite the quote. So here's the introduction. Generally for a long quote, you're kind of setting the reader up for a little bit of reading. It's good to kind of introduce it with a full sentence and give a colon, kind of give the reader a chance to pause there. But again, long quote should be word for word. Here you see the use of brackets. That shows she put that addition into the quote or she changed something there. When I go to check your sources, I want to make sure you're not changing the meaning of the original. Looks like here she was just clarifying something. Up here in this other long quote, again you have the introduction. There's the first word on the works cited page. There's a page number, so she's citing it. You can also do the citation after the quote like she's doing here. But on this other long quote, I know it's a long quote because it's tabbed over twice. It's the only thing that gets tabbed over twice. You see the use of ellipses, those 3 dots. That shows she took something out of a quote. So if you're quoting from somebody and you think, well, I don't really need all this. I just want, I want to take this middle part out or something. We'll do it. Don't wear the reader down with a super long quote when you could shorten it and it still works in your essay just fine. Again, you see the brackets down here. She added that or there. That's all brackets do. They show an addition or change to a quote. These ellipses, the 3 dots show an omission. The other way you can use a source is through a summary. Summaries, when you condense or you short material in your own words and sentence structure. If you're reading like a couple of pages, like I could get this down to a sentence or two. Well, please do it for your reader. Don't just give a big long quote of 2 pages. summarize that passage, but you're still getting that information from somewhere, so you want to make sure you cite that source. So here, dementia patients were often thought to be senile or crazy. They were confined to their houses, in nursing homes, and even in mental hospitals. She took about a page of information, kind of condensed it into those 2 sentences, which is good. I mean, the more precise you can be within your research paper, the more you won't wear down your reader. Notice the citation is still there for coping. So if I go to the Works Cited page, I'll see a source on that Works Cited page under coping, and I can go find that source and see what she summarized, whether she changed the meaning or anything like that. But with summaries, you don't want to change the overall meaning, but you are kind of interpreting. You're taking things out. So you got to be kind of careful to make sure you don't change the meaning of the original. Make sure you're not doing anything the original author didn't intend. The fun one, then the one that drives students crazy, a little baddie, are paraphrases. Paraphrase is when you restate what's in the original without leaving any of the main points out. A good example, if you're going to talk about brain surgery, a short quote won't be long enough. You can't do a whole brain surgery, in 3 lines or less. A long quote might get a little tedious, especially if it's in doctor speak, and you're going to lose your poor English teacher or your fellow students by giving an overly technical explanation and a long quote. Now, if you do a summary, you're going to leave a scalpel in someone's head. So you might use a paraphrase to restate what the original article says. You might dummy the language down a little bit so your English teacher can understand it. And you don't want to leave any of the main points out. So you're going to, if you're going to talk about surgery, you're going to leave all the main points of the surgery in there. Generally, you can tell a paraphrase because it's longer. Generally, paraphrases is longer than the original. Sometimes it takes a little more effort to restate something in your own words and sentence structure, especially a longer passage. But here, she kind of signals this by saying, I'm going to start getting into dates and information that's just not common knowledge, so it's pretty obvious. If it was not quite so obvious, you might have a signal phrase, according to one source, and then start your paraphrase, or something like that, or according to somebody. But you notice the paraphrase is pretty long, but she does cite it at the end there with Cutler and Schrammick. And again, I should be able to go to the Works Cited page. I'll see Cutler and Schrammick on that Works Cited page, and I can go to, looks like the preface there on page 11, and go see this information that she's put in her own words and sentence structure. So it's kind of flowed a little better in her paper, or for whatever reason she wanted to do that. I'm not going to read the whole thing for you. You got access to this. So those are the 4 ways. In this essay, they're kind of, right smack together. You got the short quote, again, 3 or fewer lines within quote marks. You got the long quote that's offset, 4 or more lines. Again, with the quotes, word for word, unless you use brackets to show changes or ellipses to show omission. You have the summary. She shortened or condensed that material into her own words and sentence structure. She did cite it. And of course, the paraphrase, restating the original in your own words and sentence structure without leaving out any of the main points. And again, because she already has the Works Cited page done, it's pretty easy to do the citing. There's the Carroll citation, there's a Castle, Thompson, Nathan citation, there's a Coping citation, there's Cutler and Schrammick. And again, the Works Cited page is alphabetical, so it's easy to go find that first word on the Works Cited page that you cited in your essay. But those are 4 ways to use sources in your paper. You got to do one of each for this MLA medical essay. Be sure to let me know if you have any questions about it. But I'm going to get off here. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.